How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of Crossout. I have a bit of a special episode for you today. It is Clan Wars indeed, but we're going to talk about a subject that I've seen happening in Clan Wars lately, and that is basically just, history kind of repeating itself in Clan Wars in general. And what I mean by this is that we've seen hovers being super dominant lately. Cannon Typhoon hover or Tsunami hover is probably the most used combination right now at all. So this has also created a natural response which has brought back dogs and lances in huge numbers. And while I kind of like the way that things develop now, because I feel like the dogs that have been brought back are still not super dominant, they don't destroy the entire battlefield like they did before. But I just wanted to show you some lance games today on just how good these dogs can be, and especially how frustrating it can be to play versus these. So basically, yeah, I just want to start out by saying that I think it's a pretty natural response that we're gonna see dogs again. But are we gonna see it in the same amounts as we had before, when we literally just had dog wars most of the time when it was clan wars? Like, all we ever saw was just either dogs or, yeah, big spider teams. But now we've seen a lot of hover teams, so we're seeing a bunch of dog teams again. Will this bring us back to spider teams again? And will that then be responded with hover teams because they are more maneuverable than spiders, so you can sort of just kite them around and kill them? I don't really know for sure, but something really seems like we are just repeating history here. And I do understand, again, why people go for these, because just look at the way you can just take out targets, and there's so little they can do. These guys weren't really organized, so that's probably why we got in on them. If you play against a good hover team, then you're not going to get as much room as I got in most of these videos. You will see in multiple of the videos that I actually get a lot of room to lance a lot of people. Especially the last game that is in here versus Psych in the first round, where I get the room to, lance their Scorpion. Look out for that one later. But that was a good example of just how much room you actually get sometimes, and how hard it is to utilize it, and how consequent you have to be. And it's hard for a lot of teams to communicate enough. As I say that, I also remember that we didn't even have comms on this. I was literally just playing by myself with no sound, but it's just a matter of helping your team out. But there's so many things you can do with these dog teams, and they're so quick to back up each other. Look at that, how I just got the dog off Colby so easily. And that's the strong thing about the dog teams, and why they counter the hovers so quickly, because even though the hovers can take ground, melee dogs can take ground, or lances can take ground even quicker. And that's what's so deadly about them. So it's definitely an interesting development, but is it a healthy development? That's kind of actually my point of this video, because I'm afraid that this will harm Clan Wars as it is even more. Just yesterday when we were playing the session, we often had 2 minutes plus queue times. We faced the same team in 4 out of, I think, 9 games or something like that, because they were literally just felt like there were no people playing at our rank. So waiting over 2 minutes for each game is quite unusual for this game, and it's worrying. But I don't know if it's already a response to the amount of dogs that we're seeing, or what it is. By the way, nice ram there. Never give up. But it is worrying indeed, in my opinion. It's very worrying to see just how the game develops at the moment, because it brings out the worst in people when you die to dogs. You will also see that from there. Polestar hover in a second, because he sent me some really nice whispers, and he actually just kept going, accusing us of cheating and stuff. It really just does make people salty, and honestly, I even though that's on them if they want to get upset about a game, it still worries me, and it still bothers me that people get so upset by these games because they get lanced to a lancer. And people should learn to work around those specific builds, instead of always just blaming the game for being broken and bad and stuff, because you can counter these builds easily. The question is just, are people good enough to do so? And I honestly don't think so, because it is really hard. That's why literally only, I think, something like top 60 teams are good enough to actually coordinate their attacks, because they take it seriously. They actually take it seriously. They actually care about winning enough to actually stay together and have a proper strategy. But you don't see that among common Clan Wars teams, and therefore these dog teams and stuff will also always have a big advantage. And I know it's a competitive game mode we're playing Clan Wars, of course it's competitive, so why wouldn't we like anticipate that people actually have a proper strategy? But then again, we're fighting for uranium, so it's a never going question. How hard should it be to get uranium? Like, how well coordinated should you be? And I just think it's potentially quite harmful to see that we're bringing back so many dog teams are being brought back. But at the same time, I'm really anticipating the development. And boom, look at that Whisper. And that was just one of many. He literally spammed me as soon as the match was over. But spoiler alert, guess who's getting lanced first this round? I just had to. Like, if a guy throws that shit at you, you're gonna have to go for him. It's just the way it's gonna have to be. So he had that comment, like he sort of signed his own death by whispering that shit. Oh, I see you up there, buddy. I see you up there, buddy. But I hope my sort of opinion on the matter gets through all right with this video. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not blaming anything. It's the natural development, and I really like to see how things develop, because every time we have these big shifters into the meta, we see something even more precious, and that is that we see a lot of people trying out entirely new different combinations is what I'm trying to say. Like, I personally still not am a fan of full dog teams unless you're just doing it for shit and banters like we did with the construction teams. But if you're actually tryharding with it, then meh. It's quick games and it is what it is. It's just a playstyle that I don't really like myself. And hello there, my dude. Bye bye. Also, he had that he had that coming to him. I had to do that. But it's really interesting to see people trying out new stuff whenever there's these shifters in the meta where you are allowed to try out these new things. It's really cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing what people will actually bring in the future. And there we go. That's a hover more down. So you see easily 2 hover kills, possibly even 3. I actually think there's 3 kills in one game. In the next game versus Byte coming up. But it's also pretty much all I had to say to you guys on this matter, and I kind of just want to let you watch the rest of the games on your own. Just enjoy them, do whatever you want to do. And yeah, there's not a lot of comms going, so I'll let you guys listen to some lovely music, and then you can just watch if you want to learn some more about what I do. If you maybe can grab any tips and tricks from this video, I honestly don't know. I'm a pretty standard guy after all. Not really any pro lance or anything, so don't expect top tier at all. By the way, an amazing first round here that wasn't really well coordinated, but at least we got him. We got the cricket hover down enough to at least just cripple him so that he couldn't hurt anyone. And the rest of the team dealt with the rest of the guys. So they did have that 6.9k guy. I think they might have been D-ranking. I'm honestly not sure, but still, the second round was quite nice. I quite enjoyed the second round. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another video. Please do enjoy the rest of the video, and if you like it, don't forget to drop a like down below. And until next time, have an awesome day. Bye.